Let's talk to Ricardo from ActivTrades. Very good morning to you, Ricardo.
Good morning, Nick.
Let's talk some currencies. Let's talk about, well, we've got to kick off with the Brexit pound. At the time of going to sort of around 128, seller for choice. We've talked about these big key levels. I've had lots of people coming on and saying I'm buying the pounds because it's going to be a favourable outcome. I think if we ignore the fundamentals today, because we'd be talking for hours, the pound is looking shabby, isn't it?
Lots of volatility since yesterday. Round about the time of Prime Minister's May press conference after the cabinet meeting, we saw that the pound gained substantially, climbed up against other major currencies, reached above 130, comfortably above 130. Everything seemed to be going okay, and then reports started emerging about some discontent. There were reports of tears. Some ministers were in tears during that cabinet meeting. So not all is well. There's been an agreement, but it's been sort of a majority agreement, not a consensual agreement. I confess that I'm not entirely familiar with the terms of this draft agreement for the exit from the EU. I don't think many people are at this stage.
Yep.
It's a 500-page document.
Yep.
But the general consensus at the moment appears to be that it will be some sort of a fudge. It's been said before, where the Brexit will be nominal mainly, but in many aspects, Britain will remain as it is, part of the European Union, namely in goods, in the circulation of goods, free circulation of goods. So this doesn't seem to make anybody happy.
Yep.
The Brexit hardliners, the Remainers. There's a group which probably is the largest, which is the group of the realists. So the more realistic view is that this is not ideal, but it's probably the best that we can get at the moment. Let's stick to it, because the alternative will be either a hard Brexit or no Brexit at all. There probably will be general elections because there will be a vote of no confidence, or the possibility of a vote of no confidence on Prime Minister Theresa May as a way to derail this process. And if that happens, elections become more likely. There's a possibility of Jeremy Corbyn coming into power, which is quite a scary prospect for many of the people involved in this decision making.
Yep.
So we will see. But this morning, as you said quite rightly, Nick, the pound suffered some important losses. Is now sitting just above 128, and I would be worried. I would be worried about the prospects for the pound, because I don't think we heard everything yet about this. Dominic Raab, the Brexit secretary, resigned this morning. There may be other resignations, and that scenario of a vote of no confidence on Prime Minister Theresa May still emerge and become a reality, and then it will be touch and go. Who knows what's going to happen? One thing we know for sure: if that happens, the pound will suffer.
Okay, let's talk about a currency that looks quite healthy at the moment, the US dollar. What are your thoughts?
Well, interesting speech yesterday by the Fed's chairman, Jerome Powell. Quite positive, so still maintaining the outlook of another interest rate rise in December, possibly up to 3 next year. However, there was a note of caution there, and he said that there may be some headwinds ahead for the American economy. So that seemed to have cooled the enthusiasm of dollar bulls, and although the dollar recorded some gains in the immediate aftermath, it is sort of quite stable at the moment, and didn't move as much as one would expect in such a situation. So outlook for the dollar at the moment, wait and see.
Understood. Euro dollar, we've gone through some key chart levels in recent days. What are you thinking at these levels?
Well, I mean, I think the main, we can look at the technicals, we can look at the fundamentals, but I think the main driver for euro dollar at the moment remains politics, especially the situation in Italy,
Yep.
but also the growth in influence by populist, far-right, mainly nationalistic movements all over Europe, especially in Germany. which is quite worrying because Germany is one of the main, together with France, they probably hold the whole thing together. But at the moment, the main concern for the euro is Italy. The situation is still unresolved. The Italian government insists on a budget with a deficit of around 2.3% for 2019, which is well above the maximum parameter set by the EU. I don't think either of the parts will back down. Probably what's going to happen is that at a certain point the EU will start proceedings to take action against Italy, probably fine them. But we all know that the EU is a big bureaucratic machine. It will take months for anything to happen. In the meantime, we'll have the European election in April, and the Italian government is banking on that. Of course, politically it's easy to make sense of this. However, the impact it's having on the currency is visible, and I think there's further downside risk ahead for the euro.
Understood. Let's wrap up with, as I always ask you, your favourite pair or
Yes.
your favourite pair that you really dislike. Anything that caught your attention this week?
Yes, so I would say the dollar rand, the dollar South African rand, is an interesting one to follow. A big spike for the rand yesterday, very strong gains. This came on the back of a judicial decision regarding land ownership rights, which seems to have benefited the outlook for the South African economy, and therefore the rand benefited as well. So I would keep an eye on the rand, and there may be a good opportunity there.
On that note, Ricardo, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Nick.